10, 9, ignition sequence start, 6.
Welcome to Rocket Fuel, your daily update of everything that's happening in the Rocket Pool community. My name is Wack. Today is January 15th. First of all, I'd like to apologize for missing Friday's episode. There was a wedding and I thought I would have time to make some episodes, but I didn't, so I'm really sorry about that. But we can get started today with the bi-weekly update that's come out of the Rocket Pool community by Maverick. So this was a protocol update where he says, "Hey everyone, while it certainly hasn't been a slow start to 2024, or there plenty of chatter about ETF seemingly leading to a boost in the tension for the protocol, of course the Rocket Pool intern is still hard at work, scouring Twitter X and highlighting all of the latest news for your convenience." It says, Ken is hosting the first community call of the year, which is due to start, and then this was 3 days ago, so that already happened. It says this will include a section going over OpenUX's findings and the final node operator research, and there's a link to where you can read the research. This is, as usual, there's also a bi-weekly update published to Medium last week, albeit a little bit shorter over the new year break. And then there's a link that we're going to go to next, and it says ETH Denver is kicking off soon and plans are starting to come together. Please don't forget to update your attendance here so you can get a good idea of numbers, and there's a link to the conference. So let's go and have a look at the bi-weekly update, which was here, and it says that our rETH supply grew to a new all-time high, as far as I can tell, to 562,000, which is annualized growth of 63%. And then we had validated account grew to 26,542, which was 44% increase annualized, and node operator count grew to 3,467, nearly 3,500, which is really cool. Annualized growth of 23%. So with the Smartnode stack, there was news of version 1.13.6, which is geth version, in the next Smartnode update. And then we had Houston testing was ongoing. Actually, let me move this. Houston testing was ongoing. And then we had submissions to Rapid Research Incubator, which we're going to be talking about later, and GMC stuff. And here we already had media marketing Stakesaurus was a recent community call guest, and DeFi Llama lists Rocket Pool as the 5th largest Ethereum protocol, which we talked about in the episode last week as well. So this was a quick update, I guess, because of the holidays and all that kind of stuff. But I think like the whole team's kind of like back and flowing at like full strength again. So that is really great to see. Here we have so now we're going to talk about the Rapid Research Incubator. So this is from the thread on Discord under governance, the options thread, where people are talking about the different ideas. So here Sifrin says, "I've included my suggested template for the review process for the attachment. In the attachment, the document now incorporates definitions and outlines the structure of the feedback and decision sheets intended for the review team's use." So here's a Google Doc that Sifrin created, and we can see that here there's a procedure saying that we want at least 3 members, ideally 5, to be appointed to assess the merit of each submission. The committee selection process will involve a combination of volunteers expressing their interest publicly and the GMC administrator reaching out for volunteers. The committee creations process is expected to last 1 week, but can conclude at any time after selection of 5 members. Members of the evaluation committee are ineligible for rewards from this specific bounty. So here then there's a scoring system about how each submission will be scored, and by usefulness, innovativeness, and how promising it is. And then there's definitions of each of those. And then the schedule talks about like when this will happen and what the payments will be like, and then notes. And then there's a breakdown. There's 21 applications, which you can see over here. About, I think, 7 or 8 of them are from Epinef. There's 21 submissions in total, and then the committee, we need to figure out what the committee is like. And then this is what each submission will have a page like this, where they'll get scores by each reviewer, and then they'll have a separate section as well for their favorite applications and what they think works best. So this is what the form is going to look like. And then of course we can go to the thread in the DAO forum here, where the idea was originally submitted, and then people were submitting some ideas here as well, so you can go and have a look at the different ideas that are coming up, and get a sense of what they're looking like. And also we have this this thread here where people can give input on the projects they like. This is these are submissions for Rapid Research Bounty, which are intended to bring value to the Rocket Pool node, either node operator value or rETH value or RPL value, or some balance between these parties. Absolutely no order except what I could type before my draft poll deleted itself again. It says, please vote for every submission that you think would bring good value to Rocket Pool and should get further research focus and funding by the GMC. This is a great place to put down constructive criticism of good ideas that you feel can be improved. I don't see any reason to comment that you particularly that you dislike a particular idea. Just don't vote for them. This poll is non-binding and regarding funding. So here there's a bunch of different ideas and the links to where you can read more about them. And then there's another two polls that you can go and have a look. But this is pretty much like the master list of all the different submissions and that you can engage with. So it's really exciting if you want to go and do that. And then this is called for the reviewers as well. So here it's the same document that we saw before, but we're kind of asking people to spend some time reviewing. So here the edit was that we've got 2 weeks to review if you're one of the selected reviewers, and this is for the next step of research. This job does not include checking the math modeling. High level thinking, if things are directionally sensible, is good. So here we've had a couple of people who are happy to volunteer, myself included. But one of the things I said that I would love for at least one person like Langers from the team, if not two people from the team, to join this and really get involved in the process. I know that Langers and Kane have been involved in some of the discussions that were happening before, so if they can get involved in this process as well, I think that would be really great. Like I said, at least one, if not two team members out of the 5, I think would be really good. So it's nice that people are already putting their names forward, but let's see what comes out of that, which is really cool to see. So hopefully we'll be getting some good results in about 2 or 3 weeks time about what ideas the community wants us to work with and refine for more tokenomics work in the coming months. Okay, next, talking about the team. Here we have a post from Langers saying, hey, I raised a sentiment poll on the protocol development funding RPIP discussion. Please let me know if you have any questions or feedback. So this is something that we've talked about in Rocket Fuel a whole bunch of times. It's basically this discussion that came up like many months ago about who's going to be funding the team going forward. So this started in July. The idea was that the ODAO will be reducing a lot of their income, by 90%, and the team, most of the team's money came from their 4 ODAO nodes that they had, the reward that they were getting from that, and that was funding the team. With that going down, then the team of course still need funding. So the idea was that they could come to the PDAO directly and try to get some funding. So this is things that we've kind of been talking about for quite a while, for like 4, 5, 6 months now. And there was discussion between a whole bunch of the regulars in the forums and Langers as well, kind of going back and forth about what did and didn't work, and what some of the ideas were about how they would get funded and stuff. So anyway, now they want to take it to an RPIP and kind of formalize the funding for the team. And this is where we are right now, where an RPIP has been drafted based on the discussion on this topic, which was about a month ago now. And then a couple just overnight, the sentiment poll came through. So here we said the votes have been 11 votes so far, and 10 people have voted with either saying this is great or this is good enough and it should move to a vote. And then one person says oppose moving to a vote. I have a specific issue I'm mentioning in the comments below, and that was Noshua who said that, but Noshua hasn't mentioned what the comment was below. It might be that he's referring to a comment that he feels hasn't been addressed in their discussions above, but you can kind of dig into that and try to figure things out. But it seems like the vast majority of people who've answered so far, and considering there has only been 11 people, are happy with this going to a vote. So that's really interesting. Okay, so last week, we had a nice pump for RPL, and we were kind of happy that it was it was doing well and everything was moving positively for RPL. Well, it peaked nearly at it peaked out on Binance $39.44. So since then it's had a little bit of a retracement, and currently it's at $34.24. But the reason why I'm mentioning the price here isn't because of the price per se. Well, it's actually gone down a little bit. That's $33.89. But it's actually, the RPL token has fallen out of the top 100 of tokens on CoinGecko. So now we are at number 102. So we had a nice little pump on the ratio. We've still held a lot of the gains on the ratio on the price, because before the move, we were in like the like $26-27 price range over here before we moved up. So we've held on to some of those gains, but sadly we've not held on to all of those gains. But it was a really, really big pump, right? So almost always after a pump like that, you get a retracement of some size, and it looks like that's what's happened here as well. Now the question is, what will the next move look like? Are we just going to grind sideways? Will we move sharply or trend downwards, or will we move sharply or trend upwards? And no one really knows about that. But the reason why I'm covering this is because we're at 102 now, so hopefully we can get some price movement upwards again and get back into being a top 100 token. Okay, so on the 12th, this was a few days ago, Fornax released this and had a new version of the Smartnode stack. So he says, today we released version 1.11.5 of the Smartnode. It's a recommended update for node operators due to bug fixes and new features on the updated clients. And he says, important date is for the ODAO. They need to have this updated before the 18th, because there's going to be a new tree for generating the rewards that's going to be included in here. And they need, it says over here, avoid consensus issues and start submitting prices to Arbitrum using the new price messenger version 2. It says apologies for the short time to update. And then there's a Prism update here as well. It says the latest Prism update mandates an order for the update of the validator client and beacon node. Updating Smartnode will handle both upgrades at the same time. But if you have Prism fallback node, you manually manage, you must update it to 4.2.0 before the Smartnode. I think that's 24.2.0 before the Smartnode. So here, or maybe it's 4, I don't know, I'm mistaken, I'm not sure. So here we have client updates. So there was an update with rETH, Prism, Bisu, which was strongly recommended for all mainnet users. And then here there was an update for Nethermind as well. So it says Nethermind updated to 1.25.0. This version has multiple improvements and will download all bodies and receipts by default, contributing to improve the network health, but can cause downtime until it finishes syncing, and also requires an extra 200 gigabytes of space. So that was an update with Nethermind there. We're going to come back to that in a second. And then here with the Smartnode changes, it says rolling records will properly calculate rewards file CID now that Web3 storage is no longer available. Added a parameter here for Prism VC initialization, and then there's another parameters here for Bisu, and switched Bisu to the parameter, and then there's information there as well. And then miscellaneous introduces price messenger version 2 to update prices on Arbitrum, and then there's a guide to updating it. So with this version of Nethermind, people started seeing some issues. So Fornax released another update here saying that Nethermind version 1.25.0 has an issue that causes the execution client to erroneously report as unsynchronized, even though it continues to sync normally. This issue does not prevent validators from performing attestations, but results in the Smartnode not being able to perform actions that require the execution client to report as fully synced. There's an incoming hotfix announced by the Nethermind team, and it's safe to continue using this version until the hotfix is available if you just want to let your node perform its duties. There's also an issue with the Nethermind pruning module, which is compiled with Net 7. And not compatible with the latest version. We're working on a solution to fix the issue. users impacted by these issues, either needing to run the Smartnode commands or to prune Nethermind, are recommended to manually downgrade back to Nethermind 1.24.0 following these instructions. And then there's a link there as well, and it says thanks everyone, Rocket Pool. So if you are using Nethermind, what will happen, as far as I understand it, is that your execution client, when you do Rocket Pool node sync, it will tell you that it's not fully synced, and it will show that it's not fully synced even though it is fully synced. But then when you try to do stuff with your Smartnode stack that needs the execution client, it won't run those because it thinks that it's still syncing. So it's causing some issues like that. But if in your normal day-to-day operation, you're still testing, you're still proposing, all of that stuff is still fine. It just means that you can't interact with the Smartnode stack for anything that needs execution layer. Now you can downgrade it, like it says, and there's a link there that tells you how to do it as well, down to 1.24.0, and then that should fix the issue right away. But otherwise you can just wait until 1.25.1 or something is out with a hotfix that will then fix this issue. So I'll let you all know when that comes out, and hopefully it won't cause too much of an issue for you all. Okay, and as always, when we get a new Smartnode stack, now we have a new POAP to celebrate this. So here we have Schifrin saying update your Smartnode version 1.11.5 within 24 hours to receive a POAP. And this has been a week of constant updates. Shout out to all node operators keeping up with them. Leave a screenshot of your Smartnode's version in this thread to receive a POAP. So this was actually a really short, quick POAP, right? But what happened is a bunch of people they needed more time, and what ended up happening is Schifrin extended it because it was the weekend, and it was for me, I said please tell me I'm not too late because I've gotten every upgrade POAP so far, but then Schifrin extended it by another 24 hours basically. So by the time you watch this episode, it might be too late, but to get the POAP updating. But this is what the POAP looks like. It says Rocket Pool Smartnode upgrade 1.11.5, and there's going to be different colors basically for this year's versions. So a whole lot of people have upgraded and shared their screenshots. So that's pretty cool. Okay, next we're going to be talking about the new grants rounds and the old grants round. So the previous grant round finished, and the deadline for that was January 14th. So that is all done. So we got grants applications, we got bounty applications, and we got retroactive award applications. And then there was a whole bunch of discussion that I'm going to be talking about that next. Now, the next period of grant applications has started, and that is going to run until February 11th. So you've got just less than a month, basically, just over 4 weeks now, just under 4 weeks now, sorry, to get your applications in for the next round. So I'm just letting you all know that that's the way we are right now. With the previous round, there was something really cool that happened this time that I'm actually really happy about as a member of the community and as a member of the GMC. So, we always ask community members to provide their feedbacks on the grant applications, and we even have a thread in the forum which is about community discussion of submitted applications. So normally it's just a few people kind of ask questions of the people submitting the grants, saying hey, how are you going to do this, or how are you going to do that? But this time something new happened, and I should have caught this before because Woodenship actually did this 11 days ago. But what Woodenship did was went through the applications one by one and kind of gave their feedback on what they thought we as the grants management committee should do. Now, I absolutely love this kind of process that started here with Woodenship. So a huge shout out to Woodenship for this. But for example, he said rocket rescue node, and then he says please fund this, it's significant community resource and benefit. And it says rocket fuel renewal, please fund, valuable for community alignment and knowledge. And then with retroactives, he says there's this staking research and what he thinks should happen with that. And then basically at that point there weren't any more applications. But I think people saw that and were just hey, that's actually really nice. That's a really nice process. So that's what Valdorf then did as well. He says, here we go, might update this or add another based on further submissions. So then he went through one by one as well and kind of gave his feedback. And so, like, he was using the green check, a gray thing, and then like a warning symbol, or even like a red circle to say no, or a green one to say yes. So for rocket fuel, he said, shrug, he says the cost is significant, the community building is significant. I know some folks rely on this. I'm not a user, so I'm going to pass with lean positive. And then there's some like red ones and yellow ones. And then I really like that, other people started using this. So Val then came back and updated it with new submissions. And then we also got Pateris, who did it as well, kind of went through one by one on the grants, and I gave them give it one by one, the idea of basically what the people should be getting. And then Jasper came in as well and kind of followed the same model as well, by giving feedback. So I just want to give a shout out to all these people who have spent so much time, people in the community who spent so much time going through all the grant applications one by one. Like, as a GMC member, I know that I definitely spend time acknowledging community feedback for grants, and that does factor into my decision making. And to some extent, I'm not saying it's wholly going to be based on community sentiment, but it definitely is something that I pay attention to now with these grants. I think other GMC members really do listen to community members as well, as not as their total decision making process, but at least part of it. So by people taking the time to give this feedback on a grant by grant basis has been absolutely wonderful to see. And like for Val, Pateris, Jasper, like huge shout out to those guys, and a big shout out to Wooden Chip for actually starting this feedback, even though he didn't go through and finish all of it. But that was really great to see. So thanks everyone who's really engaging with these grants. It really does make it a much better experience for everyone. So now, speaking of grants, here we've got a grant application from Ken. Now this is actually going to be a grant application that I, as a GMC member, will be reviewing personally. Oh no, I'm actually not going to be reviewing any this month because I've got my own grant application in. Oh yeah, okay, so that's fine. I can comment on it. so because I have my own grant application this month, the rules of the GMC state that I'm not allowed to comment on any of the grants that are being submitted, like in terms of for discussion, right? So I won't get a vote on any of the grants this round. So one of the grants this round is this one from Ken, which is Denver Liftoff. So he has this document. It says Denver Liftoff. It's basically a side conference to ETH Denver, and this will be a rocket pool conference. So he says the Denver Liftoff is a 1.5-day conference designed to focus on the rocket pool protocol alongside the ETH Denver Festival. This event is primarily educational, providing the rocket pool community with a unique opportunity to gain insight from fellow node operators, PDAR members, community leaders, and the development team. While the conference centers on topics related to rocket pool protocol, its content is also highly relevant to those interested in decentralized permissionless LST protocols and ETH staking. So it says the event's format begins with half-day community discussions sessions on Saturday afternoon, March 2nd, followed by a full-day program of concurrent activities on Sunday, March 3rd. This structure allows for in-depth exploration of of topics, and fosters community engagement throughout the conference. So then there's a little bit of detail of what's going to happen on each day. Like the Saturday is going to be a half-day strategic planning sessions, and then on the Sunday there's a full-day program with like talks. Possible topics could be GMC, IMC, review of Houston, Megapool, Saturn upgrade, feature inclusion, group discussion, DVT opportunities for rocket pool integration, community projects, rescue node, etc. So there's a whole lot going on. The venue will be right next door to the Sport Castle, which is very convenient for people to attend both events. And the idea that it'll cost less than $20. So that is of course really useful as well, because it's just a way of minimizing no-shows instead of trying to make money from this. So who's going to pay for this? Well, the idea is that this has been submitted for a grant application, and it's Ken is asking for $31,000 from the GMC for this. And yeah, I think Ken of course is also a member of the GMC, and he so he can't really comment on whether he'll be accepting it because he won't be able to accept a grant this round as well. But I really love this idea. I think it's really, really cool and really smart. So if the GMC wants to approve this, I think it's going to be very beneficial for people who attend ETH Denver. Okay, next we have this person here, a new whale who started making a validator, who started a validator and started adding, made a node, and started adding validators really quickly. So it started, well, it didn't start yesterday, but it carried on yesterday. And this is 0xC62C5925, who's a whale and got a smoothie icon next to the name. And they basically went gung-ho with starting validators. So they were literally it was just like, this is all that person, validator after validator, which was really exciting to see. And like, it really caught attention of people in the community that, you know, we've got a new whale in our midst, and everyone's kind of like poking around their wallet addresses and seeing what was going to happen. And as that person, of course, was making space in the deposit pool, then people started minting rETH. Because there was space, right? Like, this person was just like, the premium was gone. Any premium that was there, this person took whatever was left of it, and that was it. Like, they just literally, like, I'm still scrolling and it's all their validators, which is amazing. And then, like, okay, I'm just going to skip to the present. So what we have then is, right now the deposit pool has 15,628 ETH, 82 ETH in there. So there's space of 2,317 ETH, which is the first time in a while that, you know, we've seen there be space in the deposit pool for more than a few hours. This is basically over the course of yesterday, there's been a little bit of space that's left in there. But there was a discussion in trading about this person. So here, Bossy says, we got a new whale. Rocket scan's not working for me. Patches says he do be whaling. And then people started talking about like how the premium is dead and we've got space in the deposit pool. And here Patches says our whale friend got gas valid. They've been putting through validators at 16 GUI base fee, required to proceed. Many such pending mini pools, 22 of them to be precise. And then it says Whale Bro is actually just smart and isn't using Oracle gas fees. Seem like they're all 16 base plus 2 priority. And it says they keep coming, 26 pending now. I said, Whale, show yourself, but the person wasn't showing themselves. And then there's this wallet that they funded it with, which had like, at that point, 2,200 ETH left, which right now there's, I think 15 or 20 ETH left, very small amount left. And then there was a discussion going back and forth, like about how many validators you can spin up. And I think he had like, well, I'll come back to that next. But yeah, the validator just kept on coming, and they were linked to some. Yeah, the address that it was linked to basically had these huge multi-thousand ETH movements, like, you know, 5,000 ETH, 9,000 ETH, 5,000 ETH, like 6,000, thousands upon thousands of ETH just moving around, and like there was a whole lot of those. So yeah, like there was a lot of speculation about who this person is. Of course, they haven't shown themselves thus far, but if they do, that would be really cool. So the interesting thing was that this is the person's validator right here. So currently they have 333 validators running, and they only have 63,000 RPL linked to this. So it's actually like a person coming in at a low collateral percentage. Like, you know, the minimum stake is 59,000 that they can have, and they have 63,100. But that's their 333 validators in pre-launch. So it's going to be really interesting to see if they spin up more validators or not. But that was pretty cool. And of course, this person is, as you can see over here, this person is in the smoothing pool, and now they are the #1 node operator in the smoothing pool. So they have 333 validators in the smoothing pool, and that's really cool. So it's just kind of bumped up the percentages of the smoothing pool a little bit going into the next, into the rewards period next month. There's only a few hours basically of this month's period left, and it'll be in the next month that they can really splash their whaliness in the smoothing pool. Okay, another month has gone by and another Treasury report, this time from Vaca, saying if you need an intro on how the PDAO Treasury works, you can read this post. This period saw the payment of 8,998 RPL and 3,689 RPL for the IMC and GMC respectively. So the IMC is getting a nice chunk of change here, like really cool. And it says this period, the PDAO reserve received 5,308 RPL from inflation, and its balance now is 82,787 RPL. That is a nice chunk of change that the reserve has, so that's pretty cool. So thank you, Vaca, for sharing these numbers. I think the GMCs, we've got close to $2 million. $2 million. I'm not sure exactly how much RPL that is. Maybe like 70,000 or so, somewhere around that number. RPL in our treasury, which is really nice as well. So I've got a nice little buffer there. I don't know how much the GMC holds and how much it uses for incentives, but maybe I can find out that information. Okay, talking about the IMC here, we have this update from Kent, stakerocketpool.lens, saying additional rewards on top of ETH. Staking rewards is what rETH in DeFi is all about. Here's the update for the best opportunities within the Rocket Pool DeFi ecosystem for January 24th. So what do we have here? We have some news of earning 18 to 20%, providing rETH wrapped ETH on PancakeSwap mainnet. So I covered the PancakeSwap update last week as well, where they had some really good numbers, like, because the Pancake token has really gone up in price recently and RPL has gone up in price recently. So the rewards that we were giving have been boosted quite a lot. In dollar amounts, but here in percentage amounts as well, those are looking pretty good. And then it also says you can get 16% in RPL incentives for providing rETH and wETH to Uniswap mainnet, and staking fees. So that's totaling 19% over the last day. So those, as you get more value in that pool as well, those numbers might go down. That's actually like really nice rewards there too. It says if only staked ETH is your thing, provide OS ETH, which is from Stakewise, and rETH, which is from Rocket Pool on Curve Finance, and earn around 7% over the last week. And that is then 7% on top of your staking rewards as well, of around 3.5%, I think, somewhere around those numbers. So you'll be getting, close to 10%, over 9% basically, because both sides of your liquidity providing will be staked tokens. So you'll be maximizing your rewards really nicely there. So you can look into that as well. And it says check out all of DeFi opportunities for rETH on rpldefi.com, and then there's a tiny URL link for the Google Doc that Kent maintains. It says good luck to your own research, and doing less is often better than just holding rETH. Often better than more, as just holding rETH provides around 3% APY as well. So you definitely are getting rewards just by holding rETH, but if you wanted to just take one step further, you could be boosting those rewards quite nicely by having boosted rewards basically from the IMC and others. So here there's this POAP mistakes were made, which was about the ETF launch, Bitcoin ETF launches on the afternoon of January 9th. The SEC thought we weren't having enough fun, so they tendered us an unbelievable series of events that made life feel like science fiction. All POAP holders of the mistakes were made POAP by a Twitter account I controlled. POAP can participate in the Sergeant Pepe Masterpiece raffle. So here there's a raffle for those people, and there's some prizes. So if you bought the POAP, it was 0.01 ETH. You can enter this raffle. So this is, as long as the raffle hasn't kicked off, you're welcome to enter when you have the right eligible POAP. Don't miss out. So you can go and buy the POAP just for the sake of entering the raffle as well. And there's going to be 10 prizes. And actually the backup winners. So there's just one prize and then 9 backup winners. So there's just one prize, but there's 112 people who have entered this already, and the POAP was the POAP. Yeah. So if you want to enter this raffle, you can buy that POAP and then enter the raffle. But the odds of winning are about 100 to 1, so they're not great chances of winning that prize. Okay, so next, a couple of other ETF things just before we finish today's episode. So this is from Eric Balkunis, which is from a few days ago, to get some idea of what the final flows were looking like for inflows into Bitcoin. So it says latest with 2 days on the books, the 9 new bonds, which is the new ETFs, have taken $1.4 billion in new cash, overwhelming GBTC's outflows of 579 million. For net total of plus $819 million. So IBIT is now leading the pack with $500 million. Fidelity close second though. New bonds $3.6 billion in trading volume on 500,000 individual trades. So that's including, and then 1.2 million on GBTC. It's very impressive as the 20 basis point average premium as well. So then there's some information as well about how outgoings are accounted and all that kind of stuff. And yeah. Then there's some like memes and stuff that's sharing. But if you were interested in the numbers, I think Eric's going to be providing numbers for the next few days just to get an idea of what the Bitcoin ETF is looking like. But from his perspective, at the moment, things are looking quite good. And this has become the number one ETF of all time at launch, like in terms of inflows and trading volume on day one, and I guess on day two as well. So that's really cool. Next, we've got a couple of updates about the Ethereum ETF, which is, the first final deadline is in May. And, a bunch of people, myself included, think that it'll just be a matter of copy and paste and automatic approval, because if the SEC don't approve this, then they're going to be taken to court again for the same reasons that Grayscale beat them, with their futures ETF stuff. So Larry Fink now has started coming out, and he says BlackRock CEO Larry Fink says they really see value in having an Ethereum ETF. So this is the same kind of talk that he was making a few months ago, where he was saying that crypto can be a flight to safety, and started kind of hyping up that Bitcoin ETF. And at that point, I think it was pretty much a done deal that this was going to happen, because this is what they want, right? The powers that be want this. So after this, he actually went on like a news circuit as well, and was talking about how the future of finance is going to be tokenized, and he's talking like hyping up the Ethereum ETF. Now, there's been a lot of like to and fro about this in terms of whether this means that we'll be getting tokenizing, everything will be tokenized on Ethereum. People are saying that, if they, and Larry Fink used the word like a ledger, right? Like, they'll be tokenized on a ledger. He didn't specifically say Ethereum. So the idea is like, people are saying, oh, it'll just be a private ledger, like, the one that JP Morgan Chase, I think, came up with, and it might be a fork of Ethereum or something like that. But I think the idea that people are having now is that, they could just make their own layer 2, and they could get so much more from having a private layer 2 with like KYC hooks built into all of their platforms. So, you only would get the credentials to be able to interact with the dApps if you had a specific NFT, and you'd only get that NFT if you, were credentialed with KYC and all that kind of stuff. So there's a whole lot of ideas I think these guys are going to be exploring in the coming years. A lot of people are kind of seeing it as dystopian, like this will be the path to CBDCs, which is the central bank digital currencies, or blah blah blah, whatever. But the fact that he's out there now saying the words Ethereum ETF are going to be good, and we want this, I think that's like really exciting. And it just means that now, as we're going forward, the big roadmap items in the next coming months are in March basically for the Cancun update, and then April for the Bitcoin halving, May potentially for the Ethereum spot ETF, which is absolutely amazing. And then for Rocket Pool, of course, we'll have Houston after Cancun, at some point around Cancun, maybe March or April. NodeSet will be launching. Then there's EigenLayer launch, not that's related to Rocket Pool, but that should be happening in somewhere around the middle of the year, June, July potentially. And then as we get into that period, that's when we're going to start getting talk about the Saturn upgrades, and hopefully we'll have a good direction on the tokenomic stuff as well. So this is 2024 is going to be a really, really great year. I think there's going to be a whole lot of really cool things happening, and I'm absolutely here for it. And I know that every few minutes you guys could hear a sound, and that today is for Zemo. So that's just for you, friend. But thanks everyone for watching, listening, and being part of the Rocket Fuel community. Thank you all for letting me have a long weekend. I was so busy with the wedding stuff, But I'm here now, and hopefully I'm going to be back to a proper rhythm and routine from this week. So I'm excited about that, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye.